Hi there! Welcome to this National Improving Writing Programme video on tools for writing, specifically considering punctuation. So here are the E's and O's for punctuation with the associated benchmarks at both first and second level. Just for your reference, the early level benchmark for punctuation states that the pupil must make an attempt to use a capital letter and a full stop in at least one sentence. So let's firstly focus on supporting children to understand actually what a sentence is. So this is a really nice game to play as part of your teaching input to focus on sentences. So provide every child with the same word in the classroom, and then everyone creates a sentence using this word. Depending on the age and stage of your learners, you can do this just orally, or you can ask them to orally rehearse and then write it as well. Children would then show the teacher their sentence, and if they have correctly punctuated the sentence with a capital letter and full stop at this early stage, they can move on. So in the next round, you could provide pupils with 2 words to create a sentence with. You could specifically tell them the type of sentence or the type of punctuation you want it to be. Or you could have a sentence that has 3 things in it, or with the word because inside it somewhere. So there's lots of different ways for you to structure this understanding of what a sentence actually is. I'm sure you've all seen some of the punctuation through movement that's out there. It's a really nice warm-up idea to support children engaging with punctuation. You can use some of the commercially available ones that are out there, and I'm sure there's videos that go with them, or you and your pupils can work together to decide on the sound of the punctuation that you've got. So to do this, you could read a shared text aloud, and as a class, add the sound or the action effects for each piece of punctuation. This could be displayed on the board at the same time so that you can see the text and where those punctuation marks should go. Again, orally rehearsing these sentences using sounds and actions for the punctuation when you're looking at modelling or shared writing pieces. And then you could say a sentence and the children need to repeat it back, adding in the sound effect and the actions for that piece of punctuation. This is always a really fun activity to do. Children really, really enjoy it. Remember, it's really important to make the success criteria visible for children all the way throughout the writing process so they can see that all sentences will need punctuation, and it's going to be one of those 3. That's it, that a sentence is going to start with a capital, it's going to end with one of these, and it will make complete sense inside it as well. It's really important to help children with understanding the different types of sentences that there are out there, which would help them to decide on the kind of punctuation they might need. So as you can see, we have 4 different types of sentences. There are statements, there are commands, there are questions, and there are exclamations. Lots of practice at these different types of sentences will really, really help your learners. This is a really nice bit of writing then. Ask the children to look at the photograph and think to themselves about what's maybe happened here. Talk to the children, ask them to speak with a partner and consider how they might feel as that young person staring in through the window. Then get them to create those different types of sentences for this picture. Write a statement, write a question, write an exclamation and a command. You can then develop this on even further into a piece of writing. Perhaps they could write a letter of apology to the owner of the shed using some of the ideas from some of those sentences that you have created all together. Here's another example of using a picture prompt as a stimulus. So with a partner, children should create some questions about Andy's room for another pair to answer. They can then turn those questions into statements, which were the answers to the questions. And then using some of those ideas, they should be able to write a short description of Andy, including his age, his interests, his personality, what he likes to do. A really nice, simple, short piece of writing there, considering punctuation. They say that writing improves by the company it keeps. That is, that authors and quality texts that you introduce your children to are absolutely vital as models. Using really good quality texts is one way to inspire and to provide the vocabulary you need, as well as supporting children's understanding of the tools for writing. This can be with picture books and class novels or extracts from other kinds of text, both fiction and non-fiction. Time for Bed, Fred by Yasmin Ishmael is an example of one for looking at different punctuation throughout the text. So first of all, you would read the text together, pointing out the punctuation or where it's not, and what that tells you about how you read the story. You could then remove the punctuation from the text and with a partner work out which punctuation is needed to make that text make sense. Or you could chop up the words and the punctuation, and with a partner, they have to reorder the sentences, selecting where to put the punctuation in this case. They can then imitate or innovate with the text and using a similar theme, use a different character or a different story or a different book. There are lots of ways to explore punctuation through really good texts. If you would like any further support with punctuation, then please feel free to contact your